What up, Inspire Nation? Mayong hapon sa tanan. And today, as we start, let's read from the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5 to 6. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." So, this session is intended to our business tax class 42, and I would like to appreciate your time and your effort just to study this subject. And I know some of us are really in the kumbaga hashtag struggle is real, but I know this verse, it's a very powerful verse kumbaga help sa aton as we put our trust in God, as we continue to lean not on what we know, but on what He called us to do. The Lord will continue to guide us in all our ways as we continue to surrender our hearts. And today, as we start, can we just pause for a while and let's pray? Heavenly Father, thank you, O God, for this day. Lord, lead us according to your purpose. We commit to you this class. In the mightiest name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. Guys, I am so excited today as we continue to discuss this Business Tax 42. It's a new format, no? I did not prepare a PowerPoint presentation due to time constraint naton, but join with me as I scroll down the file. So this is the first part, sa ating module, the exempt sales of goods, properties, and services. So first part pa lang ni. So as we go through, just put your comments below. Don't forget to be active sa ating chat, and I know damo gid kita makuha today. Okay? Approve. Kung approve sa inyo, guys, just comment approve or just shout out sa ating mga notification squad and whatever you're going through this life, Sometimes you have to chill, relax, and make enjoyable ang ating subject today. And sometimes, ito ka boring, kung puro lang theories, puro lang tax, puro lang. But magamit tigid naton sa ating CPA board. So, excited sa CPA board exam. And sometimes, dumduman ko sa una while gatay ko sa board. Sometimes, you don't know kung ano magawa. But, ang reminder ganin sa akon nga teacher, just learn the basics, don't complicate sa mga things, and we will get through sa atin nga exam. So, by the grace of God, nakapasar yun man. So, I know in my heart, kamo makapasar man. Okay? Just be consistent and with a humble, open, and transparent heart that you need God sa mga studies. Okay? So, our objective today, after this chapter, the whole chapter actually, first part pa lang, the exempt sales of goods or properties, and the second part is the services. Okay? First part, so magambal kita nga exempt sales. By definition, naman na siya ang exempt consumption of goods or services from domestic sellers. Domestic meaning within the Philippines lang. Exempt sales are not subject to VAT and percentage tax. So, hindi siya subject sa VAT and percentage tax. Therefore, number 1, VAT taxpayers making exempt sale of goods, properties, or services shall not bill any output VAT to their customers because the sale is not subject to VAT. Okay, but silingon, kung VAT taxpayer ka, may input-output, right? So kung ako nagbaligya, ako VAT taxpayer ko, pagbaligya ko, may output kita. nga may output ko nga ginapatong sa akong selling price, 12% na. So meaning, since exempt siya nga sale, hindi ko pwede magpatong sa 12%. Gets niyo? Kumbaga, example, ang selling price ko is 1,000. Tapos, plus ko ang VAT nga, example, 12% sa 1,000, no? So, 1,100, 1,000 times 12%, 120, right? So, 1,120. So, hindi ko pwede magpatong sa 120. So, dapat 1,000 lang gid ang akong nga i-record nga sales. Gets? So, kung non-VAT naman, a non-VAT person making exempt sales shall not be subject to the 3% percentage tax on the sales or receipts. So, we change mo lang from 12% ng VAT. So, dire, exempted siya. Shall not be subject to the 3% percentage tax. So, ano mga example natin? Mga exempt sales dire sa aton nga module. Okay? Actually, damo ni siya example, no? Pero matamaton ta lang para hindi kita ma-overwhelm sa aton nga topic. Number 1, sale of goods sa aton mga senior citizens and persons with disability or PWD in short. So, senior citizen, SC, and PWD. So, ari may example kita, no? Aside from exempted sila sa VAT nga 12%, entitled pag sila yasang 20%. So 12 plus 20%, pila? 32% ang iya nga though tax benefit actually sa atong senior citizen. So example sina letter A, drugs, vaccines, foods for special medical purpose. So check. Vitamins and minerals, supplements. So sa PWD wala. Okay, tandaan nyo niya. Senior citizen lang ang pwede ka-avail sa nga exempt sales. Okay, PWD wala. Accessories and equipment by or for senior citizen. So naka-state mismo, accessories and equipments, syempre sa mga atong pinalangga na tigulang, magbakal sila sa mga accessories related sa ilang kinanglanon, sila lang gidya ang may senior citizen nga exempted sila sa VAT. Okay? PWD wala. Okay? Casket or earn, of course, syempre benefit na nila as senior citizen and PWD. So, check. Ang wala lang gindi, again, vitamins and mineral supplements ang PWD. And accessories, of course, naka-state din siya yung for senior citizen lang yun. Okay. May illustration kita din, no? To apply this basic principle sa babaw na nakabutang. Illustration naton. So, is a business catering for the needs ng seniors and PWD, ang special care store. So, muna siya naka-enumerate, tanan, no? So, sa diin dire sa atong illustration ang exempted. Dindi ang exempted. The following sales are VAT exempt. Ari sa dalam. So may answer makita dire sa dalam, no? Okay, the 300, 100, 80,000. So household and kitchen supply. So of course hindi na ni parts ang usual na kinanglanon sa senior citizen. So hindi siya upod sa VAT exempt. Kasi syempre, share man kamo sa balay nyo, di ba? So, example, ako may upod ko nga senior citizen, tapos ang mga gamit sa balay, of course, hindi lang siya ang gagamit, kundi ako. Kumbaga daw shared. Some principle dire is daw technically for the consumption lang gid sa ating nga senior citizen and PWDs. Casket, of course, na statement dito sa bawo kanina na mayara sila. At the same time, memorial lot, of course, hindi na ni part actually sa nilang of course, hindi na siya VAT exempt. Kasi syempre, lot na siya. Wala siya no po dito sa list sa babaw. Dire. Amo lang gid na yung pwede sa ila nga ma-VAT exempt sila, senior citizen. And sa atin nga mga, of course, mga pinalangga PWDs, medical drugs and casket earns lang. The rest hindi siya VAT exempt. Okay, kumbaga kung magbakal kita sa mga pharmacy, makita nyo di ba kung may Nay or tay, meron mo dang senior citizen discount. So, ano na pagsulat nila. Kaya, gina-require sa aton nga law, no? Dapat ginahatag ginang benefit para sa ila. Okay. Number 2. Okay, number 1, senior citizen. Number 2, sales of exempt goods. So, anong mga exempted goods? Sales of exempt goods. Diba technically, basta may sales ka gani, ma-fall ka sa VAT, right? Subject ka sa VAT. Pero there are mga goods na to nga exempted sa VAT. Okay? Exempted siya sa percentage sometimes or exempted siya sa excise taxes. So, ano na mga example na to? Letter A, agricultural and marine food products in their original state. Diba, Dok? Agricultural and marine food. Okay? Food products in their original state. Yung lataon mo, actually malawig niya siya, diba? By definition. Mala siya definition. The sale, original state, and generally used as yielding, producing, okay, products, no? Polish and all. So, may note ako dire actually yung prepare. Na, para mas shorten pagid ang aton nga discussion. Sale or importation of agricultural and marine food products in their original state. So, pag selling ka nga agricultural and marine food products, food lang gid actually. There's a lot, di ba, mga agricultural equipments, agricultural land, kumbaga, hindi siya food, hindi siya makaon sang tao, no? Only ang mga food products in their original state. So, explain ta na karon ang original state, kung ano ang meaning sina. And also, livestock and poultry of any kind, generally used as or yielding or producing food for human, tandaan nyo ha, for human consumption and breeding stock and genetic materials therefore. Breeding stock, meaning sinaga na pa example mga 45 days for human consumption. Okay? Meron kita, di ba, may ginatawag kita nga mga fighting cocks, mga mga race horses. Okay, i-discuss na karon. Again, additional definition sang original state na ton. Products classified under this exemption such as meat, fruits, and vegetable shall be considered in their original state even if they have undergone the simple processes of preparation or preservation for the market, such as freezing, drying, salting, broiling, roasting, smoking, or stripping, including those using advanced technological means of packaging, such as shrink wrapping in plastics, vacuum packing, Tetra Pak, and other similar packaging methods. So, ang original state gali, guys, it doesn't mean nga like kung buhay pa ang mga manok or wala gid na kaagis ang process. So, there's what we call simple process. Simple process, amo na yung example niya, ha? Tandaan niyo during the exam. Example B, frozen meats. Is it original state or not? Okay? Example, dried fish, no? So, may example kita dire, no? Sa agricultural products naton. So, corn grits, mga husk, mga galing rice. So, naka-undergo siya sa process, but ang nature niya, ang state niya is almost the same ang yapon sa original state niya. So, it's considered as VAT exempt man siya yapon. Okay? So, may example din, mga kopra. Di ba ang kopra, buka mong niyog, tapos kuha mo dito ang unod niya, then ibulad. So, it's the same original state mang yapon ko na ang iyang definition. Lobster, mga prawns, so fish na ton. Ang sa livestock naman, cows, bulls. So, amo ni mga example. And guys, amo ni ang purpose nga nagubra ko separate nga presentation. Amo ni yung tanda na ton. Livestock or poultry does not include fighting cocks, race horses, zoo animals, and other animals generally considered as pets. Okay? Sino may mga pets di sa balay? Dogs, cats, or kung ano man yung mga pets, just type sa comment natin dira. Okay? Sino wala hilig sa pets? Or you have your own pets? Or lain? Puro lang computer, cellphone. Okay? So, tanan nga livestock or poultry except sa mga example naton ang exempted siya VAT exempt. Okay? Gets? Yeah. Okay. Let's go back sa ating handouts. No? So, agricultural and marine food products in their original state. Okay. So, na-discuss na natin mga copra, the use of heat and employment of complex such as chemical treatment or curing in a solution is normally considered as state altering. Marinating or the process of mixing with ingredients is now considered by BIR as state altering. So, hindi na siya original state. So, kung hindi na siya original state, hindi na siya exempt goods, right? Subject na siya sa regular taxes natin, kung VAT siya or percentage. Okay? The BIR, tandaan natin na, considers marinated, frozen, and vacuum packed boneless as processed. Okay? So frozen, I mean, di ba nag-undergo siya sa marinating? Kumbaga nag-undergo siya sa isang more complex nga tawag din. Actually, it's quite subjective, no? When we say frozen, vacuum packed, boneless milk fish as processed na siya. So, this is a new update na ton sa BIR. Kaya balya sa babaw, simple processes pa siya, right? Ang freezing. So simple polish, hash rice, of course, example natin kanina, dito sa atin nga PowerPoint presentation na. Okay. Determine if each transaction is subject to business tax or not. So during the exam, actually, ang tandaan nyo lang, sometimes gagawa niyo sa true or false, right? Or statement 1, statement 2, or ma-enumerate sa multiple choice ang subject to business tax. So may aradang doliwaton lang, no? Okay, sale of hogs. Hopefully nakabasa na kamo in advance about sa list ni sa dalom niya actually, no? Palay and rice, firewood, sales of chicken, manure, sales of pets. Ari nakasulat man yung sales of pets. Okay? Kaya nga not for human consumption. So, that's why it's subject to business tax. Okay? Amo ni mga exempt naton. Okay? So, may explanation man siya. So, i-go through nyo lang na as you review. Okay. Sale of hot dogs. No? Sino mahilig na hotdog? Sino mahilig sa cup noodles? Kumbaga na-process na siya mga food niya. Considered as raw sugar, ang mascubado sugar. Di ba mascubado, nagagawin na siya sa heating? So from sugarcane, tapos may mo siya di ba? Kaya hindi pa siya refined sugar. Kung refined sugar na siya nag-go through na sang complex nga process, subject na siya sa business tax. Okay. Ang sardinas, canned sardines and beans. Of course, agin na siya isang maging mix ka na ng mga ingredients, right? So, it's a processed, na siya, food. Okay. Letter B. So, kagina, di ba? Letter A na ton. Agricultural and marine food products in their original state. And letter B na ton, fertilizers, seeds, seedlings, and fingerlings, fish, prawn, livestock, and poultry feeds including ingredients used in the manufacture of finished feeds. Okay? Except na, ari naman. So, ang tandaan natin pero may mga exemption to the rule. No? Mga except, ari na siya. Specialty feeds. Okay. Pero kundi, definition, this is sa ating revenue regulation, no? Section 109. Sale or importation of fertilizers. Actually, in general, VAT exempt siya. VAT exempt. Seeds, seedlings, fingerlings, and all this poultry feeds, VAT exempt din siya yan. Okay? Except na specialty feeds. Ano ni siyang specialty feeds? Ano ni siya ang non-agricultural feeds or food for sa mga pets natin. Sa itong mga race horses, fighting cocks, aquarium fish, zoo animals. So, specialty feeds na siyang tawag and other animals generally considered as pets are subject to VAT. Okay? So, muna yung summary sa aton nga letter B nga example. So, sales of certain farm or fishery inputs, kumbaga, mga goldfish, consider siya. Fish man siya, pero name mo nga daw pets na sang tao. So, it's subject na siya sa VAT. Exemption is qualified and limited for plants or fruit cultivations. So, mali siya example niya, no? For animal husbandry. Kamo ni siya exemption niya. For fishery operations. Okay. So, next, may same kita nga example man, no? Pares to sa babaw kanina. Determine if each transaction is subject to business tax or not. So, muna siya may apat ka example. Sale of tractors and water pumps. Subject to business tax. Tis, pamangkot ka nga part man siya sang fertilizer ng magubra ka or sang equipment mag-produce sang food. Sale of farm or fishery are not included in the list of exemption. Amo lang ni exemption na to. Amo lang ni siya exemption, guys, ha? Okay? In general, food, there is about mga exempt, di ba? Food in their original state and fertilizers, mga muna seedlings. So, kung sale of tractors and water pumps, so hindi na siya part sang mga exempted. Sale of seeds, of course, upod na siya sa exempted sa babaw. Sale of organic and inorganic fertilizers, exempt man siya. Okay? Sale of pesticides and herbicides are not included in the list of exemption. So, solonin natin, guys. Ang naka-highlight. Okay? The sale of livestock or poultry feeds and ingredients used in the manufacture of finished feeds is exempt. However, the sale of ingredients which may also be used for production is VATable. Okay, so hindi tanan gali. The sale of ingredients. Diba, may selling siya kagina nga ingredients sa pag-ubra ng feeds. Kung sale of ingredients which may also sa production sang food for human consumption, VATable na siya. Okay? So, ingredients lang get to for sale sang mga poultry feeds. Okay. Letter C. Okay? Letter A kagina, ano ganyan? Letter A na itong kagina. Just to recap lang para mas ma-refresh pag idaton nga mind. Sales of exempt goods, agricultural and marine, food products. Sa mga equipment siya, hindi naupod yan. And food at the same time, original state. Okay? Letter B, fertilizers, sa manitanan, including ingredients used in the manufacture of, remember this guys, finished feeds lang. Okay? So may example tadi kagina, VATable siya, the sale of ingredients, kung production processing na, kung ma-process ka na sang food. So once ka ni mag-go through na sang process nga complex, so VATable na siya. Okay? Letter C, books, newspapers, and magazine. These publications should appear at regular intervals with fixed prices for subscription and sale and are not devoted principally to the publication of paid advertisements. So, example natin, Rex Bookstore, no, sold the following goods: novels, textbooks, school supplies, office supplies, advertising, magazine. Only the sale of novels and textbooks are VAT exempt. Novels and textbooks, so mo lang ni ang VAT exempt sa babaw. 100,000 kag 300. So ano ang school supplies? And notebooks, office supplies. So, ari actually, kuha ni siya, kumbaga, ang example, hindi lang ang Rex Bookstore, no? Ang school supplies nga ni, so hindi na siya na-belong diri sa example naton. Books, newspapers, and magazines. Amo lang gid ang limitation niya nga exempted sa VAT. Right? So hindi na siya naupod ang tatlo ni nga example. Okay. Same man sa mga newspaper naton, publication, not devoted principally to the publication of paid, kung baka paid ads gani, hindi siya VAT exempt. Okay? This publication should appear at regular intervals with fixed prices for subscription and sale and are not devoted, ang key term, not devoted principally to the publication of paid advertisements. Okay, kung devoted na gani, principally, ang pinaka-main niya is for paid advertisements siya, so subject na siya sa VAT. Okay. Again, recap naman, letter A. So, lunin natin guys. Letter A, agricultural and marine products. Letter B, nagana, fertilizers and mga feeds natin. Okay? And the list will go on, no? And letter C, books, newspapers, and magazines. And letter D, medicines prescribed for diabetes and hypertension. Okay? Hindi tanan nga medicine, VAT exempt. Amo lang gid ni guys. So, beginning on January 1, 2019. So, super fresh pa gid saya as determined by DOH. No? Starting January 1, ang insulin and analogs, blood glucose lowering drugs, amo ni siya ang purpose siya for diabetes, high choles, na kaway-kaway sa mga high cholesterol, no? During lockdown, sino din nagtaas mga cholesterol naton or ang buyo naton nag-abundant pagid. So, kinanglan natin sa hindi lang sa bulong, pares yun kundi exercise guys, no? Okay. And hypertension. So, mo lang ni. Okay? Hindi, in general, medicine are subject to VAT. Amo ni ang exemption. Prescribed for diabetes and hypertension. So, sa example, may magwa. So, list of medicines. So, amo lang gid ni. Amo lang gid ang example. Okay. So, may illustration kita dire. No? The total, ang pamangkot dire is pila ang exempted. The following are exempt. So, vitamins, ano gani kagina? Vitamins and minerals for senior lang na. Okay? PWD, of course, hindi. Ang sa PWD, actually, insulin and other medicines lang. So, ang other medicine daw, well, tanan nga medicine for PWDs and senior, kung sila nagbakal sa pharmacy, exempted na sa VAT. So, kita nyo, senior citizen, kalitanan, VAT exempt, no? Medical monitoring devices, kininglan nila. Kumbaga daw sila ginang magamit. Actually, kung mainly ang purpose ng pagbakal is para gidya sa senior citizen. So, that's why kuan siya exempted. So, example sa mga food, dibla, kung may gabakal ka sa Jollibee, pinapamangkot kisa senior, di ba, gina-apply nila kung mag-dine-in, no? Group of 5. Tapos duwada ang senior. Okay? In general, duwa lang ganyang may discount na order. The rest siya, kumbaga may VAT mangyapon. So ang duwa lang nga senior citizen, amo lang ang discountan naton. Okay. So may note kita dire, no? Note that medicines prescribed for diabetes are exempt regardless of the buyer. So mo pag inang tanda naton. Okay? Kita nyo to sa babaw kanina. Ang basa ng DOH, tanan nga pampanubo cholesterol, tanan nga bulong nga diabetes and hypertension, exempted siya sa VAT exempt. Okay? Letter B. Ayos? And letter E, passenger or cargo vessels and aircraft. This includes engine equipment, spare parts thereof for domestic or international transport operations. Okay? So, tanda natin guys, passenger or cargo vessels and aircraft. So, sulitan natin. Kinanglanin natin sa ulon guys sa letter A, agricultural. Letter B, agricultural marine products. No? Letter B natin, feeds natin, no? Kagina, feeds. Letter C, books, newspapers, and magazines. Okay? May kuha lang siya. Dire lang, may tandaan nila ito na not devoted principally to the publication of paid advertisement. And second to the last, medicines. Mani fresh na fresh. Sa January 1, 2009, ang balsang DOH. Tanan nga medicine, prescribe for diabetes and hypertension is tax exempt siya. Ayos? Okay, sa atong illustration, kagina, so tanan nga high choles, regardless ng buyer. Regardless ng buyer, VAT exempt siya. Okay? And passenger or cargo vessels and aircraft. So, mana siya mga VAT exempt. Okay, balik ko na ito. Diba, ang first naton, number 1. Okay. Recap kita na yan para daw may chill ba natin pag discuss this afternoon. No? Number 1, sale of goods. No? Sa mga senior and PWD, amo na ang exempt sales of goods or properties. Okay? Sale of goods to senior citizens and PWD. Number 2, sales of exempt goods. So, exempted siya ang goods. Hindi ka pwede magpatong sa business tax. Okay? Na-discuss natin, agricultural and marine food products in their, guys, importante yan, original estate. Okay. And letter B, fertilizers and ingredients. Okay, ari, dalon. Also, books, newspapers, or magazines. Medicines, hari, prescribed for diabetes, passenger or cargo vessels, and aircraft. Okay. So, number 3, guys, nga i-discuss natin, sales of goods by cooperatives. So, ano na siya? Sales by agricultural na. Tandaan natin, keyword is agricultural co-op, duly registered, in good standing with CDA, Cooperative Development Authority, to their members as well as sale of their produce. Hari guys, so whether tanda natin na, whether in its original state or processed form to non-members, their importation of direct farm inputs, machines, including spare parts to be used, or their produce. Okay? May example kita di sa dalong para mas maintindihan natin. Sales by non-agricultural, non-electric, and non-credit cooperative duly registered by CDA. So, muna siya, provided na. So, tandaan niyo natin, magsilingan niyo provided that the share capital contribution of each member does not exceed 15,000. And regardless of the aggregate capital and net surplus. In short, may mga co-op kita nga daw ga-exceed actually per member ang ilang contribution, capital contribution, dalagko. So, hindi sila dinaupod sa exempted. nga sale of goods by the co-ops. Hindi tanan nga co-ops nga sale of goods sang co-op is exempted. May iban nga vatable. Okay? Ariyo, with the exemption of electric, so may cooperative or any kind, basta electricity gani, if they transact business only with members. Okay? Underscore natin only with members. Co-ops which transact business with non-members are subject to business tax. Example lang aton nga previous nga power supplier or sa Eleco na lang, no? Eleco, di ba? Electric co-op siya. Tama? Electric co-op siya. Pero kung makita nyo sa resibo may arada nga VAT on generation charges. So may VAT siya. Pero may exemption siya. If they transact business only with their members ang co-op, wala siya tax. Exempted siya kung ang co-op, kagang iya member, ga-transact sila nga duwa, exempted siya sa VAT. Okay? So may amount diri. As long as wala siya ga-exceed sang 10 million ang accumulated reserve. Kumbaga ang reserve sang co-op naton. Regardless of the type of co-op, their transactions from unrelated activities are subject na, ginasiling naton. Regardless ang type sa co-op, subjected siya sa business tax. Except lang sa agri, co-op, and non-agricultural non-agri siya, pero hindi mag-exceed sa 15,000. And electric cooperative nga sa member ga transact. Okay? Approve? Di kung hindi yung member, of course, vatable na siya. Subject na sa business taxes. Okay, para mas clear pa gid naton nga sale of goods by cooperatives. Mas matag pa gid guys, discuss na natin ang duwa ka illustration. Cooperative nga transact business with members and with non-members naton. Okay, sales from members and non-members. So of course, related activities, ginapamangkot diri, shall exempt from business tax on the sale from related activities. However, it shall be subject to business tax on 120. Of course, non-related siya. Tama? Unrelated. And then, co-op transacting business only with non-members. Okay. If the accumulated reserve so basahin natin, no? Do not exceed 10 million, the total 500,000 sales from related activities, 500,000 from related activities is exempt from business tax, but the 120 sales from unrelated activities is taxable. Kaya non-members ka mo, tapos unrelated activities siya. So, taxable siya. If the accumulated naman, ang first ko kagina is do not exceed, right? So, bong exceed, naglapaw siya sa 10 million ang ilang reserve. Only the 200,000 sales from members, from related, amo lang ni, 200,000 lang ang exempted. Okay? Okay, process anay. Kung hindi siya magsobra sa 10 million ang iyang accumulated reserve, amo ni, 500,000 from related is exempt from business tax. Ang subject lang din sa business tax ang unrelated activities. Pero kung sobra gani, exceed 10 million, sa members lang ang exempted. The rest 300 tapos ang 120 are all taxable. Ayos? Sale of goods by cooperatives. So, agri-co-op, may exemption man sa non-agri, nga ang iyang each member nga capital is 15,000 below, no? Does not exceed 15,000. So, exempted siya sa VAT and also aton nga electric cooperative, and based sa ato nga example dire ang ato nga threshold nga 10 million. So kung magsobra, ang total sales niya kagina, magsobra sa 10 million ang iyang reserve, exempt siya sa business tax. Ang 120 lang nga unrelated activities ang taxable. Pero kung mag-exceed siya ganito 10 million, ano liwat? Sa members lang nga transaction ang exempted sa VAT or sa business tax. Okay? Number 4. Sales of residential properties. Okay? Keyword na ton, residential. Hindi siya commercial properties. Residential. Okay. Sa isa unin natin. Categories of exempt transaction on real properties natin. Letter A. By a person not engaged in the realty business or non-dealer. So meaning kung dealer ka, hindi ka exempted. Subject ka sa tax. Okay? Ang exempted diri is ang wala engaged sa realty business. Like mga usual individual or example ako, CPA, go work ko, tapos why ko realty business na. Parehas na sa akin, pagbalik ako sa residential property, exempted siya sa tax. The sale of real property not real, yung term nga not primary held for sale to customers or held for lease. Kung wala mo siya balagi na negosyuhan or wala ka baligya sang real property, wala ka hold for the purpose nga ibaligya mo or buy and sell or ano. So exempted siya sa tax. Okay? The sale of property is held for sale na. Ang opposite naman, kung held for sale naman siya, classified as ordinary asset by VAT taxpayer, is an incidental transaction subject to VAT. Kung ordinary asset siya sa VAT taxpayers, kung bagara siya sa balance sheet niya, tapos ang iyang classification sa taxpayer natin is VAT, incidental transaction ang tawag sila. Incidental meaning hindi man gid siya ang main business niya, pero since VAT taxpayer siya, ma-apply ka po ng VAT. Okay, since incidental transaction, nagbaligya ka sang imo nga property nga sa imo nga balance sheet as ordinary asset. So makakonsider man siya gapon nga vatable transaction. Ayos? Okay. The VAT exemption applies to real property classified as capital assets na. So may VAT exemption kita. Okay? Ang i-enumerate guys, actually kinanglan natin i-soluhon, no? Para pati sa multiple choice, suppose lang kita mag-select na exempted na siya sa VAT. Nga nambal mo because ara siya sa letter A, letter B, letter C, no? Real property classified as, tandaan natin guys, capital assets of VAT taxpayers. Any real properties of VAT taxpayers. The VAT exemption applies to real property classified as capital assets. Ang capital assets ng VAT taxpayer exempted. Ano to kagina? Ordinary asset. So, anong kinalayan sa ordinary asset kag capital assets? Okay? Usually, ang ordinary assets, aran siya sa balance sheet mo as ordinary, though usual asset mo lang siya. Ang capital assets naman niya, it's not held for sale. Aran siya sa balance sheet mo, pero hindi siya ginahawiran mo nga for sale. Gets? It's like an incidental example. Ako may negosyo ko nga example, realty business, no? So, ano ang common asset ko dira? So, of course, land. Mga example, building, no? Naupo dira. So, it's part sa akong business. So, hindi siya capital asset, kundi ordinary asset siya. So, subject siya. Bal sa ating handouts, subject to VAT. So, capital assets sang VAT taxpayer is VAT exempt. And also, real properties of non-VAT taxpayer, automatic, real property, sang non-VAT taxpayer, hindi siya subject sa VAT. Regardless ni sang ano nga type of asset. Ang balya, any. So meaning either capital or ordinary, basta non-VAT gani, VAT exempt dayon. Okay? Parehas manigapon, any real properties of persons not engaged in business. So sa aton nga first parts ng discussion, define naton who are those people nga not engaged in business. Like sa government na sa ating mga LGU or ano pa gid sa national agencies, magbaligya sila since they are persons classified as not engaged in business. Magbaligya sila sa real property, exempted siya sa VAT. Okay? Okay. Liwat, refresh naton. Sales of residential properties. Okay? So, may VAT exemption. Ga-apply lang na sa mga VAT taxpayer, real property ang ibaligya, classified as capital assets. So, kung mag-ordinary asset siya gani, nga VAT taxpayer siya, subject to VAT. Ayos, kung non-VAT naman siya, any real property, exempted siya sa VAT. Okay? And those persons not engaged in business, pagbaligyan nila sa real properties, exempted man yapon sa VAT. Okay? Ari, may illustration kita. Si Dr. Atoy or Atowe, no? VAT registered siya nga medical doctor. Okay? Sold his principal residence for 12 million. Ano siya? Medical doctor. So, ang iyang profession, di ba? VAT registered siya. And his medical clinic building for 50 million. So, kumbaga, nagbaliga sa isang residence niya, 12 million. Tapos, mayroon siya medical clinic nga 50 million to purchase a bigger building. Okay? Anong profession niya? Hindi man siya buy and sell. No, wala siya gano sang buy and sell nga principal residence niya or kung ano man da. The sale of principal residence as being capital na. So, consider siya as capital asset. So, of course, part sa sang listahan dito sa babaw, since capital asset siya, nga VAT taxpayer ang doktor, so exempted siya sa VAT. Okay? Even if Dr. Atoy is a VAT-registered taxpayer. The sale of his medical clinic building is subject to VAT as it is an ordinary asset to his medical practice. So, nakuha niya, ang sales ng principal residence niya, balay niya ya, so, din siya ga-conduct sa nga business. Of course, dito siya sa medical clinic niya, nga building, nga 50 million. So, related to siya sa business, ang iyang building. Ang iyang residence naman, residential, hindi na iya sa iyang negosyo. So, kumbaga daw, kuwan siya capital asset, yung 12 million. Ang 50 million, part siya sa ordinary asset, ang bala sa ating example. Okay? Okay, another example. Mr. Limado is a non-VAT registered lawyer. He disposed of his law building. Gin-dispose niya, actually ang grammar, supposed to be gin-dispose of his building niya for 8 million to pursue his dream of establishing a beauty parlor. So, maganda na-realize niya nga daw, hindi ko natawag na daw hindi ko calling na maging lawyer. Feeling ko maging beautician, no? Gusto niya magpatindog sa beauty salon. So, the sale of Mr. Mado of his building, despite being an ordinary asset, is not subject to VAT because he is a non-VAT taxpayer. So, sa atin nga list sa babaw, di ba? Any, regardless kung ordinary or capital siya, kung non-VAT siya guys, automatic, exempted siya sa VAT. Okay? Any real property. So, yung baliga ni Mr. Limado is not subject to VAT because he is a non-VAT taxpayer. Also, the sale of ordinary assets held for use of a non-VAT taxpayer is not subject to percentage tax. So, VAT exempt yun siya yan. Okay? Letter B. Ano to kaginan? Letter A. I-recap na to. Letter A. By a person not engaged in the realty business o non-dealer. No? Letter B. By a person engaged in the realty business which complies with statutory price ceilings dealer. So kagina, non-dealer, subong niya, dealer. So may aragali nga dealer nga exempted man sa business tax. Normally, sales. In general, guys, normally, sales of real estate business is subjected siya sa business tax. In general. However, so diri kita ma-focus sa mga however, no? Their sales of residential properties being essential goods are exempt if they, may mga if, may however. So, mani siya i-highlight natin, guys. Exempt siya if they comply with the regulatory price ceilings. Okay. Kung hindi ka maglapaw sa regulatory price ceiling or, di ba, ang ilang maximum, kung hasta ka lang dire, example, 750,000. Ang gusto ni HLURB, Housing and Land Use Regulatory Board. Okay, low-cost housing. Ang worth sang ila housing is 750,000 lang per unit. Refers to housing projects intended for homeless na ang purpose niya. Homeless low-income families beneficiaries undertaken by the government or private developers, which may either be a subdivision or a condominium registered and licensed by HLURB under regulation nila is within the selling price per unit of, tanda nato ng amount guys, 750,000. So maglapaw ka gali, sir, magiging ano ka na? So vatable ka na or subject ka na sa business tax. Okay, sale of properties utilized for low-cost housing. Tandaan niyo nato na, kung sobra sa 750, ano na siya, vatable na siya. Or subject na siya sa business tax. Letter A naman, letter B naman, under sa aton nga dealer, no? Dealer. Letter B, sale of real properties utilized for socialized housing. So, depende gali sa purpose ang sale of real properties. So, kung sa letter A naton, utilized for low-cost housing with price ceiling per unit naton is 750. So, exempted siya. Okay? Socialized housing. So, kagina, low-cost housing. Next naman is socialized housing. House and lot. So, muna ang ilang, kumbaga, ang ilang price point, price ceiling nila is 450,000. And residential lots only is 180,000. So, VAT exempt siya. Okay? So, it's the same thing sa Urban Development Housing Act nga to, no? So, muna siya ang aton nga example. Covering houses only undertaken homeless citizens na, including side services and all. Pero ang amount dapat ang lang yun. Ayos? In excess sa maning amount, of course, ano na siya, subject to business tax. After to sang low-cost housing, socialized, my next naman is sale of residential lot valued at 1,919,919. Tama? 1,919 and 500 pesos. And below, no? Below sa amo ning amount, VAT exempt siya. Okay? Sale of lot and other residential dwellings valued at amo ning amount. Okay? 3,199 and 200 pesos and below. So mag-exceed ka siya muning amount, okay? Guys, pa-correct na lang ha. Sa aton nga book is 1,919,500. So I think ang words medyo may typo, ano lang kita, error. So may example kita guys, okay? Liwaton ko ang ma-follow is ang amount diri sa figures na to. Okay, illustration. Si Don Pedro, empleyado, okay, an employee, ibaligyaya ang iyang residential lot for 2 million. Okay, exempt siya or not? Of course, the sale is exempt from business tax. Even if nagsobra siya sa price limit because Don Pedro is not regularly engaged in realty business. The residential lot is a capital asset, exempt from VAT. So, empleyado. So, kung employee, di ba, hindi siya, upod siya dito sa example nga not engaged in business. So, hindi siya subject sa business tax. Kumbaga, hindi na wala siya engaged sa business. Therefore, hindi siya subject sa business tax. Tama? So, the residential lot is a capital asset exempt from VAT. And another illustration, ang aton nga National Housing Authority, gabaligya, no? Low-cost housing. Okay? Magabal ka low-cost housing, meron kita nga price ceiling. Naglapaw siya, wala. Of course, naglapaw kay, di ba, ambal sa babaw, 750,000 lang. Right? Low-cost housing, 750. Okay? Kung socialize ka ni guys, tandaan na ito ng amounts per May. Okay? So, subject siya sa business tax. Kaya nagsubra siya sa 750,000. Okay. Sale of adjacent lots. For the purpose of sealing, the sale of adjacent lots, residential lots, house and lots, and other residential dwellings within the 12-month period in favor of one shall be treated as one. Adjacent lot, example din, nagbakal ka isang balay sa isa ka subdivision tapos mayara siya extra lot. So, considered as one kuno, no? In favor of one buyer shall be treated as one. So, ano po silingan? So, may illustration kita dire. May realty developer kuno was supposed to sell 100 square meters for price nila is 2 million. Ang developer na propose to sell, gusto niya ibaligyan ay half, 1 million, 1 million. So that the sale of the lot would be tax-free. So sa una, ginalaw na, pero this time, based sa ating explanation, hindi na na-allow sa BIR subong. The sale of adjacent lots, maghaging tunga mo parang amount sa mga baligya, tapos yung baligya mo naman, ang half niya para ma-tax-free ka, hindi na allowed. So, shall be aggregated for the purpose of threshold. So, i-combine na siya. 2 million. Okay? Tandaan natin na, sale of adjacent lots, i-consider na siya as 1. 1 ang treatment nga selling price of lots exceed the price ceiling. Both sales are subject to business tax. Okay? May example makita diri. Si Sevar Realty sold a residential lot for 1.8 together with an adjacent parking lot separately priced for 200,000 to a buyer. Okay? Adjacent parking kag ang residential lot. Okay? May extra siya nga parking lot. So, pero may separate man siya nga pricing. 1.8 million tapos 200,000 ang parking lot. Okay? The 1.8 sale of residential lot is exempt. The aggregation rule does not apply because parking lots are not residential in nature. Tama? So, hindi ma-treat ang parking lot as residential. Kumbaga, kung kutob lang sang balay. Right? Amo lang gito ya ang residential. So, pero ang 200,000 nga sale of the parking lot is, of course, batable man siya gapon. The 1.8 sale of residential lang niya ang exempted. Okay? Ayos. And next one, export sales by non-VAT persons. export sales by non-VAT person. Kumbaga may produkto ko tapos registered ko as non-VAT, example bugas, no? Export ko, exempted ko na sa VAT. The export sales of non-VAT taxpayer are exempt from, of course, di ba? Tanan nga non-VAT taxpayers, under na siya sa percentage tax. Under the law, however, the export sale of VAT, okay, is taxable to the value added tax. But, guys, tanda natin, 0%. Okay? Kung non-VAT ako, okay, may export ako sa product ko, exempted ako sa percentage tax. Okay? So, what if VAT naman ako? VAT taxpayer, tapos may export ako. Subject ako sa value added tax. Kay VAT ako, right? Pero ang percent natin, pila? 0%. Okay? Kaya because I think ang rationale ng government diri is para mainganyo ang locals or local businesses nga mag-go into this export business para ma-synchronize ang relationships ang example within Southeast Asia, di ba? Ga-export-import kita sa mga products. So it's about actually doing good sa economy natin. Ga-rotate ang ating mga products. Of course, ang peso versus dollar and ating gross ang GDP natin, di ba? Gross domestic product natin. So muna siya nga what will happen kung ang export natin, no? I-markupan pag natin sa 12%. What will happen? Di ba? Gataas pag ang presyo natin nga daw ga-discourage siya itong mga foreign counterparts na magbaton sa export natin because nagmahal po gid. So para may tax benefit ang atong export nga mga kapamilya, kapuso, no, go into export business. At least mainganyo sila, ay gamay lang akong expense. So gina-zero nila. Zero ang tax rate. Okay? So, for example, mas maintindihan pa natin. Producer siya sang high-value crops and agricultural products for export and domestic sales. So, muna yung iyang sales. Okay? Sales of banana, sales of kalinga orange, sale of wine and vinegar. Total, if Ina is a non-VAT taxpayer, the following sales are exempt. So, kung example, non-VAT siya, okay? Export sales by non-VAT persons. The domestic, ariyang sa dalom, no? The domestic sales, within, domestic meaning, the domestic sales diri lang sa Philippines sa sulod. Sale of agri-products in original state, exempt siya. The export sales by non-VAT taxpayer is also exempted. The domestic sales of processed agri-products such as wine, vinegar is subject na siya because na-process, ang term na process na. Right? Sale of wine and vinegars. Kumbaga nag-go through na sa different process. Okay? What will happen kung si Ina Bangunan is a VAT registered taxpayer? Ano matabo sa iya? Okay? Of course, the 40,000 domestic sales of vinegar, din na itong 40,000. I think this is subject to 12%. At 3.4, okay. This is not 40,000 actually. This is 400,000. Okay? Correct nyo lang sa notes nyo guys. 400,000 sales of vinegar and subject siya sa 12% VAT. The 3.4 total export sales are foreign consumption tax subject to 0%. So kung VAT siya, 0% ang iyang rate. Okay. Before we proceed sa ating number 6, I think this is second to the last, right? Or duwa pa? Yeah, it's sa sale of goods. Okay? mapaway tanay. Okay, number 6, Treaty-exempt sales of goods. Sale of goods which are exempt under international agreements to which the Philippines is a signatory or under special laws. Okay, may arang treaty, kumbaga may agreement ang different countries. So kung ang Philippines may example din examples mga PESA, Registered Enterprise, ADB, International Rice Research Institute, Philippine National Red Cross, embassies of foreign governments, muna siya ang exempted sa mga treaty exempt na sa ila. Okay? So, saulo na natin guys ang anom ni kabilog. Okay? Under sa National Internal Revenue Code as amended, sales to these persons are listed under the VAT exempt transaction. However, for VAT taxpayers, this VAT exemption is favorably affected by means of zero rating treatment. Ano ko Okay, para mas clear pag illustration natin. Okay? Orishi Company, supplies the ADB with office supplies. During the quarter, ADB made total deliveries of supplies worth 500,000. If Orishi Company is a non-VAT taxpayer, the sale of Orishi Company to ADB is exempt from percentage tax. Okay? Kung VAT naman siya, subject siya sa zero rated VAT. Okay? Mula na, kung non-VAT taxpayer siya, exempted siya sa percentage tax. Okay? Because ang ADB is na-belong din sa example of exempt parties under special laws of international. So, once may problem kita like true or false or multiple choices. So, once na-belong di gani sa anong kabilog na exempt parties under special laws, okay? So, exempt na siya sa VAT. So, kung VAT taxpayer gani, hindi siya hindi siya VAT exempt, kundi subject to zero rated VAT. Okay? Ang VAT exempt kag zero rated VAT, taxable nga term, lain na siya. Okay? Zero rated. So, kumbaga VAT subject siya, VATable siya, pero zero ang percentage. Okay? And second to the last. Second to the last natin, number 7, tax-free exchange of property. Tax-free exchange of property. Walang tandaan lang ni naton. Ato na train law, nag-add na ang tax-free exchange of property to the list of VAT exempt. So, kung baga VAT exempt transactions, thus the following exchange of properties are not VATable. So, exchange of properties by corporation in pursuant to a plan of merger or consolidation. So, ari may example kita, Zeus Company, para mas maintindihan natin ang concept sang tax-free exchange of property. So, this Zeus Company, VAT registered siya, kumbaga doon ma-merge nila company. And si Zeus Company, i-surrender niya ang iyang properties or assets ara naka-enumerate na basta sa patent, from cash to patent. Now, ma-receive si Zeus, since siya ma-surrender sa iyang assets, shall receives with letter S, shall receive 2 million of worth sang shares of stocks. So, pag-merge nila, tagaan ni T-Rex, isang company, si Zeus, sang 2 million shares of stocks dito sa T-Rex company, which it plans to distribute to its shareholders, after which it shall cease to exist and operate as a legal entity. So, ang transfer ang pag-transfer sang assets sang Zeus, including the ordinary assets, inventory, property, plant, and equipment, shall not be subject because part na siya sa mga tax-free exchange of property. Because ang merger, ma-merge sila, with T-Rex company. So, but hindi siya subject to VAT. Assuming Zeus is a i-assume natin non-VAT siya, the same shall not be subject to percentage tax. Okay, number 2 example, sang tax-free, no? Na transfer sang exchange of property. So, nagbayluanay sila. Exchange of property by person alone or together with others not exceeding 4 that resulted in the acquisition of control. Okay? Just correct it, guys, not exceeding 4 that resulted in acquisition of control. Para mas clear pag lantaw natin ang illustration. Miss Vanessa, VAT registered siya, taxpayer, nag-exchange siya sa her ni dapat her. Okay? Para may i-correctional mga mo guys para may ubrahon nun kamo sa inyong handouts para at least ma-correct nyo, no? Her real estate inventories for the stocks of a startup corporation. As a result of this exchange, she obtained 51% voting stake in said corporation. The transfer of real estate inventory, an ordinary asset in this case, is not subject to VAT since this is a tax-free exchange of property. Assuming si Vanessa non-VAT, so the transfers ang real estate inventory shall not be subject to percentage tax. Okay? Nagets? So since tax-free na actually ang tawag, exchange of property by person alone or together with others. Acquisition of control na. So kung wala siya nag-result sa acquisition, sa control, ma-subject na siya sa VAT. Okay? So ang key term din natin, acquisition of control. Kasi syempre, kung wala mo na acquire ang control daw as if daw nagbaligya ka lang sa usual usual assets, right? And last, yes, before we end our session, this is our last session, last topic na to, number 8, sale of gold, sale of gold to the BSP, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So, pud na siya sa mga na VAT exempt. This is now a VAT exempt transaction which is previously considered as a zero-rated sale. So, sa una ko, zero-rated siya. The tax applies both to the registered and small-scale miners and registered gold traders. So, sa una ko, zero-rated sale. So, subong VAT exempt na gid siya. Okay? So, may illustration kita dire. Si Boss Edong, a gold trader, nagbakal siya sa gold and silver from electronic scrap metal refiner and small-scale miners. He refined the gold and sold them to the following. Okay? So, 300 sa jewelers and BSP 840. Sales sang gold lang guys underscore ni gold lang. Okay? Whether VAT registered or non-VAT, si Boss Edang, naging babae si Boss Edong. Alin sa babaw, Boss Edong, pagbaligaya, nag-Boss Edang na siya. Shall be exempt from VAT or percentage tax on 800,000 sales of gold to BSP. So, muna exempt, VAT exempt ng term, hindi zero-rated. VAT exempt na. And the sale of silver is VATable. Nga silver, because gold lang gani ang VAT exempt. Gold. Okay? It is subject to 12%. But if boss nag-imo na nga endong si Edong, from Edong naging Edang to Endong, grabe ang evolution. Tungod sa gold, Kisa kung madalman ka sa gold, ga-evolve ka. Okay? He's a VAT taxpayer and to a 3% percentage tax if he is a non-VAT taxpayer. Okay? I think that's it, guys. Let's go back now. Balikan natin from, just to recap lang before we end our session today. Okay. Okay, scroll. Scroll, go up, go up, go up, and up. So, first part, may second part pa ni nga i-upload ko ang ating module 2.2. So, ang first part is sales of goods lang anay. Okay? 2.1 and properties. Okay? Into na natin ang mga exempt sales of goods today. Okay? Number 1 sales sa senior citizen and PWD, mga exempted. So, bulong, vitamins, mga medical drugs, ano pa gan? Sales of exempt goods. So, nagbaligya ka sa exempt goods, mga tax exempt na goods like agri and marine products. Okay? And letter B, fertilizers, mga seeds, seedlings, and mga feeds naton. Of course, may kita nga exemption. So, may explanation man diri kung ano ang aton nga transaction, kung if it is subject to business tax or not, right? Letter C, mga exempt sales naton, books, newspapers, or magazines. Okay? And letter D, medicines naton, prescribed nga bago ni. No? Sa January 1, 2019, for mga bulong for diabetes and hypertension. Okay? Example sina, insulin, analogs, blood glucose lowering drugs. Okay? And number 3, sale of goods by co-op. So sa co-op naton, agri co-op. So mayroon makita ng agri as long as ang iyang share is 15,000 pesos and below. Okay? So mayroon makita nga electric co-op pero only sa members nila ang exempted. Number 4, sales of residential properties. Ginto na nato ang non-dealer. Okay? Tapos may dealer man. Nga. So sa dealer, may exemption man. Kung ang ilang ginabaligya properties, low-cost housing, ang amount niya is 750,000 and below. Low-cost housing, tapos mayroon socialized housing. Tapos may limit man siya actually, 450 and 180. And also, ang i-correct natin, ang amount in words, ang maning chapter 1919, 500 and below. So, exempted man siya. Sa aton nga house and lot and other residential dwellings, valued at 3 million, kamo mani ang iyang ceiling or threshold, 3199200. And, of course, discuss man natin, sale of adjacent lots. So, may ceiling man siya actually. Na 2 million, tapos may example kita nga 2 million, tapos yung divide niya. So, dapat ang iyang this tax minimization technique is no longer allowed. Hindi mo siya dapat i-divide. So, gina-consider siya as 1. Okay? Consider as 1. And number 5, export sales by non-VAT persons. Okay? The export sales of non-VAT taxpayers are exempt from percentage tax. Tapos kung VAT siya naman, VAT taxpayer, ang rate is 0. Taxable siya. Subject sa VAT pero 0 rated. Okay? And third to the last, treaty-exempt sales of goods. So, naka-enumerate niya nga anong kabilog nga kinanglan natin i-memorize man. So, kung once gani sa atin yung multiple choice, sa muni gagwa, sa muni mga exempt sales parties natin under special laws or international agreement. And, of course, tax-free exchange of property. May kita number 1, merger and consolidation. Okay, and number 2, kung may acquisition of control. Okay? And last na topic na to. For this afternoon, yes, ang iban siguro excited na magtulog or ang iba na excited na magtuon sa quali, no? God bless good sa inyong qualifying exam. And I know ang iba sa inyo way pakatulog actually, no? Sa Pulawan, but I know makaya nyo gida. And last nato nga topic kanina, sale of gold _ gold lang gid. Gold lang gid ang VAT exempt transaction. Sa una ko no, zero rated siya nga sale, subong niya, na-treat siya as VAT exempt. Kasi magyapa, wala siya balayran. It's just that nag-change lang term niya, name mo siya nga VAT exempt. Okay? So guys, I think that's it. Thank you so much for listening. It's 5:23 p.m. so I need to do some edits and some stuff here, but hopefully makahabol ko sa after isang inyong quiz. Now, ma-start ka mo quiz 5:30. So, ma-end ka mo 40 minutes, diba yung butang ko allowance. Hopefully, maka-meet kita sa Zoom around siguro 7 or 6:30 tonight. So, God bless guys. Again, this is Elvy Razonales. I want to encourage you guys. If you have questions, just feel free to email me, chat me, or sa messenger naton. We're here to inspire you not only to be a CPA, but at the end of the day, a person that is full of humility, with a respect sa iyang upod, sa iyang classmate, and a Christ-like student. I know it's so hard, guys. I know it's so hard. I just recently learned nga kamo ang first batch ng K-12, nga kamo ang naka-experience nga na-extend ang inyong high school, tapos kamo naka-experience ang qualifying exam na online, tapos everything is first time sa inyong generation. But ang bago gani, it's your chance to mold yourself, kumbaga to transform yourself under God's guidance, God's grace, that He is with you, He loves you. Whatever struggle you are into right now, sometimes we are going through those dark moments of our lives, and sometimes self-pity ka, you don't know, daw mas alam ni sa akon, tapos ako daw ang quality ko. No. Just be consistent. Kung hindi mo maintindihan ang lesson mo sa tax or sa ibang subject this summer, I know super compressed ang aton nga time, but what we did before, just read and read again. Just be consistent after you listen to this lecture. Study it again hasta sa ma-memorize mo and ma-apply mo ang basic principle. Just be consistent. Don't be dragged by Netflix, by Facebook, by Instagram, or whatever movie, games. Just be consistent, guys. You can do it. I know you can do it so much. I have this high expectations sa inyo, guys. Actually, you are more matured compared sa nagliligad, mga generation nga. Of course, na-extend ang high school nyo. You're supposed to be graduating this, but you were extended. But guys, God has a purpose sa inyong life. And with all my heart, I know during our orientation, I love young people. I love investing to their lives. I love to, to inspire, not just to gain some attraction, but we seek not fame, but we want influence. We just want to influence you guys, to encourage, to inspire you to be a better man, to be a better woman, to be a better citizen sa ating country, and be a better Centralian. I'm so blessed to be part of this organization, of this school. And shout out sa ating mga teachers nga hashtag struggle is real, but they kept on fighting, learning, just improving every day. I salute you guys. And the internet is so hard, these days, kapin pag ulan-ulan, brownouts, but ma-overcome din natin, guys. And I think that's it. See you guys sa Zoom. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, alright. Add it up.